Hey, 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 hey. I do not own the rights to that music, but it happened to come on in the midst of my video. What's going on, grown folks? How y'all doing on what is this? Tuesday. This is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. Guess what? I think we got this camera straight today. All right? I got it going on today. How y'all doing? This has been a gloomy, gloomy day. Let me tell you. The weather is so unpredictable. I got caught in the rainstorm this morning and lots of traffic. Took me an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, something like that to get to where I was going. And I usually get there in an hour. So I was a little disturbed by all that. But I'm hoping that this is the last of the rain. But I do think that we're going to have some more coming the weekend, one of those days, from what I heard. But long as you're safe, long as you're happy, long as everything is on a positive mode, don't worry about it. That's what I say. Don't worry about it. Now, how y'all doing with this time change? I, man, look, I'm looking sleepy. I've been up at midnight like this, just up, right? And knowing doggone well I need to be asleep. But because of the time change, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite, used to this. When I was driving home yesterday, it was still bright daylight. And I'm like, wow, I thought it was much earlier, but it was actually later. And so I got to get used to that. And also, I got to get used to going back to the gym. I'm going to try to make it my business today. hmm if I can today. Yeah, don't y'all hold me to that. But today, when I get off work, I am going to get in that gym and do a little something, something because it's good for us to incorporate some type of exercise in our week, whether it's doing some walking or getting to the gym, doing a little treadmill, a little bike, little weights. I'm at a point where I don't need extremely a lot of cardio, but I do need some. And I do need to start working on some weights because I've got this weight off, but then you have issues in certain areas where you got to tone stuff up. So now I'm at the point where I have to start building up some muscles, okay? Some firmness. So I'm getting ready to work on that. But anyway, other than that, all is well. I wanted to talk about today love. Don't be afraid to love, you guys. Don't be afraid to love. It's so many people that I talk to that have reservations. They tell me their stories about why they don't want to love anymore, why they can't love anymore, why they won't love anymore. They come from a space and a place of being crushed and hurt and just taken advantage of and made to feel a certain way, and they don't want to give of themselves anymore to anyone else to feel that. And I totally can relate somewhat. Thank the Lord I haven't gotten to the point where I'm scorned or uh, have given up on love, but that feeling in here when you are hurt, when you are crushed, and that mourning and that getting back on course and thinking that you are in control, but you really aren't, that's a terrible feeling. Terrible feeling when you go there. But then you have to look at some of the life lessons and knowledge that you get and obtain from going through that fire. Because sometimes, a lot of times, it makes us a better person moving forward. And had we not went through that, we would not have grown and actually used our testimony to be a shining guiding light for someone else or some type of advice for someone else. Don't be afraid to love. It's a wonderful thing, and especially when you get with someone that you totally connect with. You know, you can't explain it in words, but there's a connection that you feel with this person that you can't even fathom the thought of being without them. It's like life without them? No. No. It would not be the same. No, I don't want life without them. I want life with them in my space to mean some type of purpose to me. So when you have that feeling and that connection with someone that is giving you that same energy too, it can be the best unexplainable experience in life. Now, some may ask, can we meet or connect with a soulmate more than once in life? Because some have went through thinking they have that connection with someone or had it, and then it didn't work out, and they wonder could they ever feel that again with someone else. And some have went years of chasing and trying to find it. It's like that first high they say that you get when you hit the freebase pipe or whatever this crazy drugs are out here. You get that rush and that feeling, and you go on and on and on after that, chasing it, trying to feel that way again, but you never really initially feel that same way that you felt the first time that it happened. I'm telling you what they tell me because I don't know. I ain't thank the Lord I ain't never had to feel that type of connection and addiction to nothing. But um so but can you twice connect with a soulmate? Some have went years and years and years and years since that last initial connect with someone they thought was their soulmate, or perhaps it was, and for whatever reason, things had to end. It could be things beyond their control, or it could be things that was within their control. Just didn't work out, or maybe this person left this earth or whatever. But do we get an opportunity to, for the second time, have a soulmate or a connection with someone in our lives again? Some may say yes, because after being married and connected with somebody one time, people get married again two, three, four, five, six times. But they probably thought they felt that each time. Maybe they did. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Maybe they did. Maybe you can feel that over and over and over again, and life-changing events causes things just not to work out. But don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to give it when it's the right time to do so. When is the right time? That's going to have to be discerned between you and whoever you're dealing with, as far as how comfortable you're feeling with that connection and in that moment, because nobody can tell you that. That's something you are going to have to experience. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Open up the gates. Let it in. If somebody is there that's deserving of that chance, that's deserving to be in a space and a place next to your heart, they have proven themselves. I'm not saying that everybody that say they love you. And I'm not saying that everybody who you start talking to is the one, because that's not necessarily true. You're going to have to be patient and use discernment and a whole lot of prayer to determine if this person is worth you going there again. And especially for those who have went through the washing machine quite a few times. And by no means should you down yourself for that or feel less than because of that. Sometimes things just don't work out. And it's not always something that you did or even something that you could have controlled, because there's situations that do occur. People turn into different directions from one another. Some get addicted on things that you just won't tolerate. Some end up going away and uh, incarcerated. Incarceration. Some uh, end up leaving this earth sooner than you probably would imagined. You have all kinds of reasons why a situation just don't work. But who are we to judge? You get with somebody or meet somebody and they end up sharing a past of being married 3 times. Now most will look at them like, hmm, 3 times, huh? And then they want you to share each situation uniquely of why it didn't work. Which really, you don't have to give up information as to why it didn't work. It just didn't work out. Sometimes things just don't work out. Because if you give up too much information, sometimes it comes back to bite you, reality speaking. Later on, you'll find out that it'll be used against you some kind of way. Because now you're in a new focus, in a new space, in a new place, and you may come at that person with, I'm not going to tolerate A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, no, no. But you told them about your story in your first 2 marriages, and you tolerated A to Z and all that too. And you didn't leave them, they left you. So you know that's gonna be brought back up. So you can't tolerate A B C D E F G with me, but you went through A to Z with that, and then you stayed, and then they left you. It's gonna come back to bite you. So reality speaking, the only thing that needs to be disclosed, unless you just feel safe enough to tell a little more, but it's not really necessary. The only thing is safe to disclose is the fact that it just didn't work out. We outgrew each other, whatever. It just didn't work out. I wish them the best. You know, we had good time, bad times, just like any other marriage. And it just didn't work out. Now, next, what you want to talk about? Okay, yeah, the weather is nice today. Hmm. When we going to Hawaii? Hmm. Okay. Flip the script because it's not necessary. You don't need to know all the details about what happened with them and their relationships or why their marriages didn't work. You don't need to know all the details. It just did not work. Now, I can see where a person who has been married once and have a few kids compared to somebody who's been married 3, 4 times and have a few kids, no kids, or whatever. You know, it will slightly raise the eyebrow because you become curious as to, was something wrong with them? Why all these marriages ain't working out? But it don't necessarily mean there's something wrong with them. Sometimes you just pick the wrong seeds out of the jar, and then you try to plant them and hope that they bring good sprout, and you get a bunch of shrubs and weeds, and that wasn't your intention, but that was the outcome, if you can feel what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily always that person's fault that they went through the channels of marriage so many times. Perhaps they were just strong enough and secure enough with themselves where the heat got too high and high enough where it started to be um, a disaster and a downer for them, that they had to make a decision to get out of that, you know, or the person got caught up into whatever life circles they were in and doing the things they were doing, and they left. Y'all see that little light streak in my situation? I think that's a glare from in the back. I don't know, but I'm not in the sun. But don't trip. Long as the video ain't falling, we good. We good. So again, I have to reiterate, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to open up and to give to someone that is deserving of your heart and your love. Now, we all have stories to tell. Just because you done been through a couple of bad toads, got a couple of warts, don't mean that you're going to run into a whole bunch of others moving forward. Your next may be your prince or your princess, and you may live happily ever after. But I believe that some have to go through the trials of things that will encounter to make you a better man or woman moving forward for particular reasons. See, everybody has a purpose. There's a purpose for you in this life, in this world, in your circle, in your family, in your community, in your life, in your relationship, in your marriage. There's a purpose for you. So sometimes for us to get to what our purpose are, we have to go through certain challenges. We have to jump through certain hoops and go over certain barbed wire fences to get there. Whereas some just go through one little situation and they're in it forever and they don't have to go through all that. But the downplay of that is they only have that one situation to determine and weigh things on. They don't have the balance of saying, well, I went through this, I went through that, I went through this, it made me that, it made me better here, it made me better there. I know what I don't want, I know what I do need. I know you have a variety of things that help mold you into the person that you are. Where when I'm not saying there's nothing bad with being on that one straight and narrow, but you have nothing to compare it to. That's what it is. That's your journey. That's your story. And sometimes that can be a great story and journey. And sometimes that can be just too straight and narrow. And people start thinking about outside the box of the possibilities of how it would be doing something different, how it would be being with someone different, how it would be going through something different. Your mind will start to play tricks at some time with you. So it's not always a bad thing when you are put in situations to grow and discern and to be a part of, even if it does not work, because it's something that you should take from that to help build you upon a greater man or woman moving forward, whether it's good or bad. It's life's lessons. It teaches you, it helps you to become a better person moving forward and to deal with things in a much better light. Trust me. Trust me. Who knows better than someone who has greater experience, who can give you a testimony that has been through the fire than someone who hasn't even been through a little match blaze? Who has better discernment, knowledge, wisdom than the other? Not to say that the person who hasn't been through it don't have no knowledge. I'm just saying when you have went through the trials and the triumphs of life, when it comes to love and relationships or marriages that don't work, or just being beat down behind a whole lot of things, and you've gotten through it, what greater testimony is it? And God has lifted you up out of it to be an example and to tell a story to the next. You know what I'm saying? What greater lesson? We don't see that when we are going through it. Because when we're going through it, the only thing we focus on is how horrible this moment is and everything that we are dealing with now. It's the worst that we've ever experienced. That's what we look at in the moment. But if you take the time to think about the things that you have went through that has now made you the individual that you are today, then a little light will go off and you'll say, wow, so that's why. That's why that happened. That's why I had to lose that person. That's why we only stayed together for XYZ. And that's why I now have been blessed with who I have right before me, what I'm doing right now in the moment, the benefits that I've obtained from everything that has come full circle after I went through what I went through. Better ask somebody. That's some real stuff. So again, I tell you, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to give of yourself. And stop loving people conditionally. Stop putting conditions on why, when, and how you love a person based on what they have, based on what they're doing, based on what they can do for you, based on blah, 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 blah. We can go on and on and on and on. There's all these conditions. I'll love you if you love me back. I'll do this for you if you do this to me back. Everything has to be conditions. Now, I'm not saying that you don't meet each other in the center here and fulfill, please, and do what helps balance and make your mate happy and your union solid. I'm not saying don't do that. But I'm saying all the conditions. There's some people who will say, well, I'm not even going I'm not going to date them or nobody unless they have XYZ. They got to be making six figures. They got to have a job that they go to every day. They got to be taking care of their kids no matter what the situation is. Now, no matter what the situation is, taking care of your kids, yeah, you should be helping taking care of your kids. Yeah, I will say that. But all that other stuff, you ain't got it. Look, you could be missing out on your blessing. I'm not saying they should come to you with kibbles and bits, but I'm saying that to be saying that a person or their teeth got to be a certain way, or you know they have to have an intellect that is at a certain degree. So when I take them out somewhere, they know how to talk and they know how to chew and they know how to, act in front of people when I need them to put on that act with the pinky and all that. When they got, you want to put conditions and shit, accept people for who they are. If the person is not for you and you have all these conditions and all that, then girl, bye, boy, bye. I wish you luck in finding that perfect person, because you're not going to find that perfect person, and you can't change people. People change from within because they want to change. People grow because they want to grow. So you have to accept them for who they are. If they're not for you, then sit back and see how long it takes you to find that one that is. I'll wait. See how long it takes you to find the perfect person. Because a lot of people, not a lot, but some are looking for the perfect man or the perfect woman. If they don't cook a certain way, if they don't love you a certain way, if they don't body ain't shaped a certain way, if they don't do these type of things to you in the clap a certain way, if they don't have a certain amount of money in the bank, if they don't blue, whatever, they got to do all this stuff to be with you. And then when you sit up and ask them, well, what you gonna do? And they're, well, I'm here. They got me. That's enough. Really? 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 Wow. Okay. But with all that, don't be afraid to love. Okay? Just choose wisely who you giveth of your heart to. Not everybody deserves it. Not everybody needs it. Protect it. But don't be afraid when the time is right, and you will know when that time is right. And until then, protect it. Okay? Because, man, it's nothing worse than giving up all this to someone that you rushed to do because you was trying to prove a point. You was trying to show out and show them that this is what I'm about and this is what I'm gonna do. And you haven't even set up to figure out, to discern if they are deserving of you to even go there. So you end up wasting all that. And then the one over there that is deserving of it, that you would like to probably be in a position to give, you don't even want to be bothered with them because you're so stuck on this. You stuck on what you shouldn't be stuck on, and you letting go what you shouldn't be letting go. You know, you got to get to a point where you use better judgment and discernment and stop putting conditions on it and stop being afraid to love. That is my strongest message today, because we all have gotten to a point where we shut down for a minute. We are just through. We tired. We don't even want to be bothered no more. This is just too much. I can't take it. I can't stand it. I don't want to get with men no more. I don't want to get with women no more. I'm just gonna try something different. Man, I'm just a mess. I don't even know if I'm worthy to love anymore, because every time I turn around, I'm getting tangled up in this bob wire of something that's cutting me deep. We start to second guess our own selves. Why? Because we allow ourselves to give too much too soon to the wrong person in the wrong time. And you know, timing has a lot to do with it too, because the right person could be there, but say perhaps you just got out of something 2 weeks ago. You just came out of something 2 weeks ago, and you see potentially the right person that has been kind of waiting in the wings for a while, and you kind of shut them down, and then you want to rush and start seeing what that's about. Sometimes you do have to give yourself a woosah moment. You know, you got to take in what you just went through. You got to weigh it. You got to assess it. You got to see what your pros and your cons were, what you could have did or not did. You got to really assess the situation and get that weight off of you emotionally before you go into something new. Because the worst thing ever is coming into something else when you're emotionally still tied to what you just got out of, You haven't really healed from it. So you take all that baggage into something new. You get to judging that person based on where you've come from. Trust is not really wide open because you didn't trust the other person. You're still hurting. You're still mourning. It's just a mess. And then you got new issues in a situation that could have potentially been good because you didn't unpack unpack first, and then allow yourself to not be afraid to accept love again when it is there and is right for you. That's my message today for your lunch hour, afternoon thoughts. I got to get back in, you guys. But I want you to stay tuned. I am here during the week doing afternoon thoughts in the afternoon for you, bringing some grown folk topics of conversation, things that I just, feel dear in the heart or that comes to mind. Um, and do join us on Sundays if you get a chance. YouTube live 7 o'clock, and we're on Zoom 6:30 p.m. We have a lot of fun. Last week's show was off the hook. Great debate, great energy, great thought-provoking topics. We had a good time. If you get a chance, the video is on YouTube. Please subscribe, join, share on my channel, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. And if you would like to share with me anything personally, please feel free to email me, dgrier12,000 at yahoo.com. I will interact with you there. Please, if you got anything you want to say, any recommendation, any inquiring minds want to know questions, because we love that part of the show where we putting it out there and we want you guys to help them solve whatever the situation is. This is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. Have a great day, you guys. See you later. Bye.